My friends, today we stand at the crossroads of a journey where women are finally realizing something powerful. They are on their way to no man's land. Now, before you think of this as a place of despair or loneliness, let me paint a different picture. No man's land is not a barren wasteland. It's a vast expanse of freedom where women are learning to walk without the shadow of anyone else looming over them. It's where they realize for the first time that they don't need validation from anyone to feel whole, to feel worthy. Empowerment through independence is one of the most profound realizations a woman can have in her life. For years, society has placed women in roles that were often defined by their relationships to others. Whether as daughters, wives, or mothers, these roles were not necessarily chosen but were expected, and in many cases, women felt the pressure to conform. The idea that a woman needs a partner, a spouse, or a man in her life to feel validated or complete is slowly dissolving. Women everywhere are beginning to see that their true worth isn't dependent on anyone else. They're discovering that they can thrive and grow on their own terms. For so long, the expectation was that a woman's fulfillment would come from being chosen, from being loved, from filling a specific role in someone else's life. This type of thinking limits potential and restricts growth. But as women recognize their own strength, they begin to understand that their value is not tied to the presence of a man or to a romantic relationship. Their worth is inherent. It's in their passions, their ambitions, and the way they live their lives. With each passing day, more and more women are reclaiming their independence, not as a statement of defiance, but as a realization of self-empowerment. Independence doesn't mean loneliness or isolation. It means freedom. Freedom to choose, to make decisions that are in alignment with one's values, dreams, and aspirations. It means having the power to walk through life without waiting for permission from anyone, especially from those who might have tried to convince women that they couldn't do it alone. It is the realization that there is nothing lacking when standing alone, because standing alone is actually standing strong. This empowerment is not just about financial independence, but emotional, mental, and spiritual freedom. Women are learning to trust themselves, to make decisions based on their intuition, and to prioritize their needs and desires. This transformation allows women to build lives that are not only successful, but fulfilling. They are free to chase their dreams without fear of judgment or rejection. The true power of independence is in its ability to free women from the constraints placed upon them by society, giving them the ability to write their own stories and define their own futures. Breaking free from societal norms is one of the most transformative acts a woman can undertake in her life. For centuries, society has set boundaries for women, dictating how they should live, how they should look, and even who they should be. These norms, passed down through generations, have often been limiting and suffocating, creating a narrow definition of what it means to be a woman. Women have been told that their roles are fixed, their ambitions should be secondary, and their desires are secondary to the needs of others. But more and more women are waking up to the realization that these societal constructs don't define them. They never did. As women begin to break free from these norms, they are redefining what it means to live authentically. The idea that there is one correct way to live, or that success comes only through a prescribed path, is being challenged. Women are starting to realize that their voices matter, their choices matter, and their dreams matter. They no longer need to fit into the mold that society has built for them. The shackles of expectations that have held them back are beginning to crumble, and in their place, women are stepping into their own power. The journey of breaking free often starts with a realization that there is no right way to live a woman's life. It's not about following a predefined path of marriage, motherhood, and career. It's about creating a life that feels right for the individual. The notion that a woman must find validation through traditional roles or through the approval of others is slowly being replaced with a new narrative where women live on their own terms. Women no longer have to apologize for choosing a different path or for pursuing a life that may be unconventional. They have the right to create their own version of success, even if it doesn't align with society's outdated expectations. In this journey, women are learning to trust themselves more than the outside world. They are rejecting the the narrative that has often made them feel small, less than, or not enough. They are embracing their individuality, flaws, and strengths and using them as fuel to push forward into uncharted territories. In breaking free from societal norms, women are reclaiming their right to live fully, without apology or restriction. The truth is that when women are free to choose their own path, they can achieve greatness beyond anyone's imagination. Embracing strength, vulnerability, and authenticity is a powerful journey for women, one that goes against the grain of traditional expectations and encourages living from a place of truth. For too long, society has taught women that they must choose between being strong or being vulnerable, between showing their power or showing their emotion. But the reality is that strength and vulnerability are not opposites, they are intertwined. Strength does not mean the absence of vulnerability, just as vulnerability does not imply weakness. Together, they create a full, real, and unshakable woman who is not afraid to stand tall while allowing herself to feel deeply. Strength in women is often misunderstood. It is not about being unbreakable or never showing any sign of struggle. True strength comes from the ability to rise up after hardship, to keep moving forward even when the world tries to pull you back. It's the resilience to face challenges head on and still hold on to your sense of self. But strength is not only shown in moments of triumph, it is also displayed in how a woman holds space for herself, in how she stands firm in her convictions, and in how she faces the world unapologetically for who she is. At the same time, embracing vulnerability is not a sign of fragility, but an acknowledgement of the full range of human experience. It is the courage to be open, to show up authentically, without hiding behind walls or masks. Vulnerability allows women to connect more deeply with themselves and others. It is the honesty in admitting that they are not perfect, that they have struggles, and that they don't have all the answers. Vulnerability is strength in its purest form. It's the willingness to face the world as you truly are, unafraid of judgment or rejection. Authenticity is the thread that ties it all together. It's about being true to oneself, no matter the expectations or pressures from the outside. When women embrace authenticity, they stop pretending to be someone they are not. They stop living for others and start living for themselves. Authenticity allows women to shine in their own unique ways, to speak their truths and to honor their own path. It is about finding the confidence to be unapologetically who you are, regardless of how others may perceive it. When women embrace their strength, vulnerability, and authenticity, they unlock the power to live their lives to the fullest, free from shame and full of courage. Redefining relationships is a crucial part of the journey toward personal empowerment and growth for women. For far too long, relationships have been viewed through a lens of dependency, whether it be in the context of marriage, friendship, or family. Society has often framed women's identities in relation to others, suggesting that fulfillment in relationships is paramount and that women's worth is tied to their ability to maintain these connections. However, as more women begin to embrace their independence, they realize that relationships should not be a means of validation, but rather a source of mutual growth and support. For women, redefining relationships means understanding that they are complete as individuals, not defined by the role they play in another person's life. The idea that a woman must rely on a partner or family member for happiness and fulfillment is being replaced by a healthier view that relationships should be built on respect, equality, and shared growth rather than one person fulfilling the emotional or practical needs of the other. Women are realizing that their happiness and sense of worth should not be reliant on anyone else. They are no longer willing to settle for relationships that require them to suppress their voice or put aside their ambitions. Instead, they are choosing partnerships that allow them to thrive, to be their full selves, and to contribute to the relationship equally. Redefining relationships also means breaking free from the societal pressures that tell women how they should behave in friendships, romantic relationships, or as daughters and mothers. Women are starting to acknowledge that they have the right to define redefine how they relate to others without guilt or fear of judgment. It's not about fitting into a mold. It's about creating authentic, loving, and supportive connections that uplift both parties. True relationships are built on trust, understanding, and the willingness to let each person grow. A healthy relationship doesn't require compromise on one's core identity or dreams. Instead, it fosters mutual respect and admiration, where both people are encouraged to pursue their individual goals while offering support along the way. In redefining relationships, women are learning that the most important relationship is the one they have with themselves. When women embrace their own worth and value, they stop seeking validation from others and can approach their connections from a place of strength and confidence. They become better partners, friends, and family members because they no longer feel the need to lose themselves in their relationships. Instead, they approach relationships as a space for mutual support, growth, and shared dreams. The result is not just a redefinition of what it means to be in a relationship, but also a reimagining of the power and beauty of connection. Resilience through adversity is one of the most defining qualities of women who are embracing their true potential. Life is filled with challenges, obstacles, and difficult moments, but it's not what happens to a woman that defines her. It's how she rises from those hardships. Resilience is not the absence of pain or struggle, but the ability to withstand and overcome it, learning and growing stronger along the way. For women, resilience means facing adversity head-on, refusing to let it define or limit their future. Instead of allowing life's difficulties to break them, resilient women use those experiences to build themselves up, to find new strength in the face of hardship, and to become more determined than ever to keep moving forward. Adversity is something every woman will face at some point, whether it's personal loss, societal obstacles, or the daily struggles of balancing life's demands. Yet the most powerful aspect of resilience is that it allows women to keep going even when they feel defeated. It's the quiet strength in continuing to pursue your dreams despite the setbacks, the courage to rise again after falling, and the ability to believe in yourself even when the world might be telling you otherwise. Resilience is what allows women to turn their pain into power, to use their struggles as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. It's not just about bouncing back after hard times, it's about growing through them. Resilience teaches women to trust in their own abilities, to rely on their inner strength even when external circumstances seem insurmountable. It encourages a mindset shift, seeing failure not as a sign of weakness, but as an opportunity to learn and improve. Every setback becomes a lesson, and every challenge becomes a chance to build greater inner fortitude. This mindset not only helps women recover, but allows them to evolve into the best versions of themselves. In the face of adversity, women learn how to adapt, how to innovate, and how to keep pushing forward even when the road ahead is uncertain. Their resilience is an act of defiance against the idea that they are fragile or limited by the circumstances surrounding them. Instead, they prove that adversity can be transformed into an asset, a tool that refines their character and strengthens their resolve. Resilience is not just surviving adversity, it's thriving in spite of it. The power of self-love and confidence is a transformative force that allows women to navigate life with purpose, strength, and clarity. For many, learning to love oneself is an ongoing journey, one that requires patience, self-compassion, and the courage to accept both strengths and flaws. Self-love isn't about being perfect. It's about recognizing your intrinsic worth regardless of imperfections. It's about understanding that you are enough as you are and embracing the fullness of who you are, your achievements, your mistakes, your passions, and your dreams. When women cultivate self-love, they open themselves up to a life where they are no longer seeking validation from others, but instead drawing strength from within. Self-confidence is an essential companion to self-love. Confidence isn't just about how others perceive you, but about how you perceive yourself. It's the quiet belief that you have the ability to handle whatever life throws your way, that you are worthy of success, and that your voice matters. Confident women take ownership of their decisions and trust their instincts, knowing that they are capable of creating the life they want. It's the inner strength that enables women to walk through the world with their heads held high, without needing approval or permission from anyone else. Confidence allows women to break free from the chains of self-doubt and step boldly into the opportunities that lie before them. When self-love and confidence are nurtured together, they become an unstoppable force. A woman who loves herself deeply is more likely to make choices that align with her values and dreams, rather than settling for what others think she should do. She becomes her own biggest advocate, finding joy in her own achievements and showing compassion for herself during times of struggle. This self-love creates a foundation on which confidence can grow. As women begin to trust themselves more, they start to speak their truths, set boundaries, and refuse to accept less than they deserve. Their lives become a reflection of the respect they have for themselves. Moreover, self-love and confidence radiate outward. When a woman loves and believes in herself, it not only enhances her life, but it also positively impacts those around her. She becomes a source of inspiration and empowerment, encouraging others to do the same. Self-love and confidence create a ripple effect that extends far beyond the individual, transforming relationships, careers, and communities. When a woman stands firmly in her own worth, she not only changes her own life, but helps create a world where women everywhere can do the same. In embracing the power of self-love and confidence, women discover that they are capable of achieving anything they set their minds to. It's not about perfection, but about the unwavering belief in their worth and the courage to stand strong in who they are. When women trust themselves, honor their own needs, and embrace their unique journey, they unlock a world of limitless possibilities. The ripple effect of their self-love spreads across their lives, touching everyone they encounter, and ultimately creating a stronger, more empowered community of women who lift each other up. The power to change the world begins with the power to love and believe in oneself.